Okay, so here we have a little chart that just demonstrates, right, that I want you to be creative making your own dressings. You're picking some liquid, like one of my favorite dressings is to use a peeled navel orange as the liquid. There's no liquid, I just put 2 oranges in the blender. Now I'll throw in some toasted sesame seeds, some cashews, squeeze of lemon, some blood orange vinegar, and I'll whip it up. And I'll have this blood orange vinegar, the vinegar mixed with the orange, with the cashews and the hemp seeds. With a little squeeze of lemon makes a delicious dressing. Then I'll make a salad. Maybe I'll cut some strawberries in the salad or some kiwis in the salad instead of tomatoes. And I'll take some of the toasted sesame seeds that I set on the side that I didn't put in the dressing. I just lightly toasted them in a pan for like 2 minutes. Just very lightly toasted. And I sprinkle some of those sesame seeds on top of the salad. Once I mix the dressing, the orange sesame dressing in the salad, and then put some kiwis and strawberries on top, and then sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. I have a delicious gourmet salad. So here you see I can use mustard as a favorite, and you can use onions and scallion. Usually you're using roasted garlic for flavor. Usually it's like maybe 1 clove of raw garlic with 8 to 10 cloves of roasted garlic, or a half a clove of raw garlic with 8 to 10 cloves of roasted garlic, because the raw garlic's usually too strong, but some people like that flavor. And then it's using a nut or seed or an avocado, and then the acidity could be lemon, or it could be a vinegar, or it could be tomatoes, or kumquats are really great. I love kumquats and mandarin quats when you can get them. Actually, I grow them right here in Flemington. I have my own little kumquat trees, and you can make there's citrus fruit where you can eat the skins of them. The skins are sweet. Most people take citrus fruit, and they drink the juice and throw away the skin. And they should be throwing away the juice and eating the skin, because the skin is where all the phytochemicals and anti-cancer elements are. So that's why we eat kumquats. You're eating the skin is flavorful. And I have these little kumquat trees, and people could grow them. You can order them over the internet for like $20, $30. You can grow your little kumquat trees outside in the summertime. In the wintertime, put it in your house in your living room, or put it in the garage to hibernate for the winter. They can't grow the citrus trees outside in the winter, but if you don't have a greenhouse, you just bring it into your garage, your shed, or put it into your home. Or in your basement even. You can keep it out of the sun. It can stay out of the sun for 3 months, and then when it gets warm again in April, bring it back out again. Or better yet, keep it in the wintertime and produce food all year. But so I'm saying is I get that acid from the lemon or the kumquat in there, or a flavored vinegar really tastes great. And when I use a balsamic vinegar, because it has that little bitterness to it, or a white wine vinegar, then I'll usually put the balsamic as a dark vinegar. I'll usually put a little bit of raisin or a fig in there, so it'll balance the sharpness of the vinegar. So make a salad dressing like this. I'll take like a tomato sauce, and I'll put in a little bit of fig vinegar in with it, and maybe some almonds and sunflower seeds. Then I'll put in maybe either a dried fig with the balsamic vinegar, or with the fig vinegar, or a little bit of raisin or currants, and blend it up. Because a little bit of currants to balance that bitterness of the balsamic vinegar adds a nice flavor, and I'll mix it in with a salad. So I'm just giving you some ideas and have you experiment with how you're going to make your salad dressing. Sometimes we take some leftover soup, and we whip the soup in the blender with some nuts and some vinegar. And it tastes a good salad dressing. And sometimes at work, I'll take my big salad, and I'll just heat up my soup, and I'll pour my soup right onto my salad bowl. And I'll have my soup be the dressing for the salad, and I'll be mixing the crunchiness of the salad with the heat and the softness of the soup. And the soup, the vegetables in the salad will get a little softer from the hot of the soup, but they weren't really cooked there. I just combined them together. Sometimes I'll put a little cooked vegetables on top of my salad, or a little bit of cooked bean dish on top of the salad, and mix the things together. So here's some of the salad dressings I mentioned. The Russian fig and the orange sesame dressings are an example, and a ginger almond is a very common dressing that people love, where they just take a little soy milk and they mix the sesame seeds with a date and a little bit of raw garlic and some ginger. The ginger almond dressing is just soy milk, a little bit of nuts, and a little bit of ginger with a little bit of roasted garlic. And a blueberry pomegranate is a great dressing. It's the same thing. Instead of using the orange and the orange vinegar, you use the blueberries and the pomegranate or the blueberry vinegar. So here you have blueberry vinegar. If you don't have blueberry vinegar, you could just put blueberries in with a white wine or an apple cider vinegar. You can always substitute an apple cider vinegar, but we feel that these gourmet flavored vinegars adds a nice flavor to the diet and allows a lot of nice variety to people's taste palates. So if you're looking to lose weight and you're overweight, make a hummus dip and a salsa dip and eat the salsa dip make with beans, because you have this red kidney beans mixed with tomatoes or tomato sauce with a little almonds or almond butter, scallions. Spice it up the way you want with oregano and chili powder and dried parsley. Put a little vinegar into it. Make a nice bean salsa as a dip for your vegetables. Maybe instead of eating a salad at night, you're just going to take raw broccoli or raw snow pea pods or raw carrot sticks or slices of beets or cherry tomatoes, and just dip it into a salsa dip or dip it into a hummus dip. Maybe it's just hummus for dinner with a cooked vegetable dish and some raw vegetables on the side. Maybe some snow pea pods and carrot sticks with a hummus dip. And then you had some cooked vegetables with that, with some fresh fruit for dessert or a fruity dessert we're going to show you how to make. Now this hummus dip is very low in calories. The reason it's low in calories is because the eggplant is so super low in calories. So I added some eggplant to it. So it has the chickpeas, the beans, and I'm not using so much of the sesame seeds. It only has a 1/4 cup of sesame seeds, and there's the roasted garlic, a little lemon. You could put a little paprika, a little bit of diced onion in there, and I will often put some horseradish, some shredded horseradish or turmeric into a hummus is really good too. But in this case, the secret ingredient is putting the baked eggplant in, which keeps the calorie count down, because baked eggplant is great as a dip. And you can make an eggplant dip by itself without the hummus. You could just bake eggplant. I'll sometimes bake eggplant, and then I'll fry up some onions on a dry pan. And I'll put onions and currants and cinnamon on top of the baked eggplant. So I'll take the baked eggplant, bake it in the oven at like 350 for 45 minutes till it's soft and wrinkly, cut it open in half, open it up into the 2 boats, push them down with like an egg masher. So I've mashed out my eggplant a little bit. I'll take my pan, get my skillet, get it very hot, cut up my onions very fine, get the skillet very hot, and I'll take those onions so they sizzle on the pan. No oil, a plain dry pan with very hot so the onions don't stick. And I'm going to make them just so they're glistening, so it brings out the sugar in the onion. And now I'm going to take those onions, now put it right over my baked eggplant, sprinkle a little currants on top, and put a lot of cinnamon on there. And I have a great eggplant dish, and I can eat that eggplant as a dish, a vegetable dish for dinner, or I can slice it up and eat it cold and put it on top of my salad as part of my salad vegetables. Because fresh eggplant has a great sweet flavor. And when we're usually adding a little bit of dried fruit to a vegetable dish or a soup or a dessert, I'm usually adding currants, black currants, not raisins, because they taste about the same, but the black currants are much smaller, much tinier. So if you're taking a sweet and sour soup or a sweet and sour cabbage salad, like a cabbage bok choy or a broccoli salad, where you have sweet and sour with lemon and currants, you might or might not have a piece of raisin on your fork because the currants are very small. They're dispersed more evenly through the dish, so you always have a currant on your spoon or your fork when you're eating it, so it gives that sweet and sour flavor better than just having a raisin in there. Did you follow that? So we buy those. And then this Caesar dressing is a dressing that always gets a 5-star rating on the website. It's a little more complicated recipe, but it's a recipe that people love to use as a Caesar dressing on their salad. And of course, the secret here is to use the tofu with a lot of roasted garlic, with a little bit of raw garlic, a little bit of lemon, and then you get a low-salt white miso with some Dijon mustard and a little bit of kelp, which brings out that seafood-like flavor, and you get some nutritional yeast. A lot of different ingredients, but people love this recipe. It really is a very delicious dressing that you can utilize all the time and keep it in your refrigerator. It usually keeps for about a week in the refrigerator. Don't forget, the dressings keep better in the refrigerator if they have lemon or vinegar to it or tomatoes, because a lemon, vinegar, or tomato makes it more acid. And you add acid to it, it keeps it so it stays in the refrigerator the whole week. Think like a cashew sauce without the vinegar, like the garlic nutter with nothing to make it acidic, with no lemon in it, will usually not last for, well, if it's dry, it'll last longer. But if it's wet, it'll go bad quicker, and those usually are only good for 3 or 4 days. Now, with regards to the nutritional yeast, have to remember that a lot of nutritional yeast are fortified with folic acid. And folic acid is a petroleum-based synthetic ingredient that increases the risk of breast and prostate cancer. I don't want people to be taking folic acid and vitamins. I don't want them to be eating foods fortified with folic acid. And I do not want you to eat conventional nutritional yeast. You have to look to order types that are non-fortified. We have one available on the website. And most Whole Foods markets, there are some that carry the non-fortified, but most of them carry the fortified. So it varies from region to region. So please make sure your nutritional yeast is non-fortified because folic acid is dangerous.